like after the gym,
or a crowded elevator ride,
or golf,
or working with farm animals,
or a hard day's work.
like sportscasting.
You said it, ladies. Stay cool with Gold Bond Powder Spray.
Stay cool with Gold Bond.
KCAA invites you to listen to professional money manager Bill Gunderson every weekday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. Bill Gunderson is a highly respected money manager. He's a regular contributor to MarketWatch, TheStreet.com, and Town Hall Finance. Gunderson has appeared many times on the Fox News Channel, the Fox Business Network, and CNBC. You can hear Bill Gunderson's daily insight into the market at 7 a.m. weekdays, right here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Well, good afternoon. It is 12:02. I'm Di Rice with the latest in local news in the Inland Empire here on KCAA 1050 AM. Nicholas Lopez Garcia, 44, was arrested at about 1:40 Monday morning and booked on various charges after walking across a freeway in Menifee, bashing in a vehicle's windows, stabbing a toddler with a piece of broken glass, attacking the other occupants, and setting fire to some of their belongings. This all happened when the victims were on the roadside changing a tire on their car. Garcia was believed to have been on drugs, and there was no apparent reason for the attack. Garcia also resisted arrest. He is being held on $1 million bail. The incident occurred on the northbound 215 just south of Newport Road. And the man who died in a construction crane accident in Crestmore has been identified as Judge W. Lightfoot, a 63-year-old from Henderson, Nevada. The crane had been scheduled to travel to a construction job on Tuesday, fire officials said. Lightfoot was helping to check the machine and ready it for the trip when the 75-ton machine toppled on top of him and killed him. He was pinned inside the cab. He reportedly knew there was a problem with the crane, and he attempted to warn other people. And another budget year is unfolding, and economic recovery for the county of San Bernardino is a slow process. In an annual fiscal overview issued Tuesday, county supervisors were told that many more years of tight budgeting are likely in response to projected shortfalls. Some levels of service that were reduced during the recession are being restored. The county will invest in infrastructure to avoid higher costs later. This includes repairing roads, replacing old emergency communications and fiscal systems, making the best use of existing space and instead of building or leasing new space, and then gradually restoring drastic cuts made to parks, museums, and elections. Inland Empire weather, you got a partly cloudy sky out there today. Highs expected to climb to 73. Overnight lows drop into 53. Currently, we are at 66 in San Bernardino. Looking at your drive, you've got an accident blocking that right lane of the eastbound 10 freeway still. That is just past Mount Vernon, and that is due to a car fire in the right. Traffic remains slow from La Cadena. And then the only other issue out there is some road construction going on the 60 westbound between Market and Rubidoux, and that is going on until 1:30 this afternoon. Activity has the carpool lane closed again between Market and Rubidoux on the 60 freeway. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM.
He doesn't mess around, and he doesn't take sides. And he looks good doing it. It's the all-new Jason Stapleton program at jasonstapleton.com every weekday at 5 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM.
If you like jazz, you'll enjoy getting together with me. I'm Tommy Hawkins, a jazz hawk. Tune into my show, Just Jazz, Saturday nights from 10 to midnight on KCAA 1050 AM.
You can be intentional about your character, your work ethic.
You've got to be on the same page.
Today we're calling to let you know we are debt-free, house and everything.
You have done really, really, really good. And you're not going to quit now.
It's been a huge witness for us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people. Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. You jump in and we'll talk. 888-825-5225. This hour, we're going to do something different. We're going to take calls from people who have won with money. Now, I'm amazed at how many negative, thumb-sucking, backward people there are out there writing in the financial world. There's structural problems with the economy. The little man can't get ahead. We need to institute socialism because you can't win in America. And yet Milton, famous economist, Pulitzer Prize nominated, said that capitalism, America today, is the little man's best shot at getting ahead in the history of mankind. In the history of the world, the little man has a better chance to get ahead in the United States of America today than at any time and anywhere in history. And he meant it. And the statistical evidence is there. 88%, that's 9 out of 10 of America's millionaires, are first-generation rich. They started with nothing. They lived on less than they make. They live on a budget. They save and invest. They don't spend everything they make. They don't act like they're in Congress. And they invest in a good 401k and a Roth IRA and good growth stock mutual funds, or they invest in real estate, or they invest in something, and they end up with money. A 25-year-old saving $100 a month in a mutual fund that averages 12% will have $1,176,000 at age 65. $100 a month, cable breath. Some of you spend more than that on your television. I don't know if I agree with your set of assumptions. I don't care if you agree with my assumptions or not. Get up off your assumptions and save money. You don't like mine, make yours up, but save money. If you save 15% of your income, you make an average household income. Average household income in America right now is about $51,000. If you save 15% of that from age 30 to age 70, that's $7,500 a year. You'd have about $7.5 million. If I'm half wrong, you'd have $3.5 million. If you don't like my assumptions. So, we take calls from time to time from people who have actually done it, and that's what we're going to do this hour. To illustrate to you that this actually does happen, that real people decided to trade the idea of living payment to payment, living paycheck to paycheck, decided to live on less than they make. They decided to save and invest. And they are at some age and have over $1 million as a result. So, let me tell you, if you want to be skinny, what do? You listen to skinny people, how they did it. In business, we call that studying best practices. If you want to be married and have a great marriage, talk to somebody that's been married 65 years, 55 years, 45 years, and they've got a great marriage. You want great kids? Look around and see who's got great kids and ask them how they did that. If you've been married 16 times, I hope this one makes it for you, but I don't really want to read your book on marriage. You're a failure. Your best practices suck. If you're 450 pounds, I don't want you to be my personal trainer. Okay? Think, people. All these broke journalism students running around writing in these blogs and in these magazines don't have 2 nickels to rub together, and instead what I'm going to do is during this hour, I'm going to bring real people on who have really made it. Millionaires. Tony's going to start us off. Tony's in Midland, Texas. Hi, Tony. How are you?
I'm blessed, Dave. Yourself?
Just the same, sir. Thank you for agreeing to come on and tell your story. Tell us where you are.
I'm in Midland, Texas.
Mm-hmm. And you have saved how much money, sir?
Currently, right, a little more than $1.2 million.
$1.2 million. Awesome. And what is that invested in, sir?
All in my 401k plan at work and a pension plan.
Okay.
Just, the various, what's available to us in that plan.
So mutual funds, I assume.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how long have you been investing in that 401k plan?
From day one. Well, not day one. The first year I couldn't invest because at the time you had to be with the company a year. But since the day one of my second year with the company.
How long you been there?
24 years this July.
So you did this in 24 years. How old are you?
I'm 47.
Good for you. Way to go, dude. Awesome. Does the company match?
Yes, they do. Okay. They match a percentage.
So that helped as well?
It did.
Okay. Very good. Very cool. So how much have you of your paycheck percentage-wise have you invested? Do you know?
I don't know the exact amount, but, and honestly, I never did 15. I've always, 10 or so, 12.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's the one thing that you say all the time is, get started and start. Back in the day when I started, I was making $18,000 a year,
mm-hmm.
and I invested 1% of that.
Okay.
Can't do much more than that.
Yeah. And what are you making now?
Last year, my wife and I grossed a little over 143.
Great. Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm in sales.
Okay. So your average income through this time is probably maybe a little less than 100 through that 24 years.
It's a lot less than 100. Last year, the first time combined, or the most we've ever made together.
Okay. All right. Well, it should be. You're doing great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you think the difference is between Tony and his wife and the typical person that retires broke because they didn't save anything? Because you've not made $500,000 a year, and you've made a good income. You've worked your butt off, but you've invested every month, and now here you sit with $1.2 million. Why?
It's just getting started, doing it, actually, doing it. And like you said, just continue to do it, every single paycheck, and live on less than you make, exactly what you say.
How many car payments have you had over these years?
I can tell you I had quite a few, but doing well now.
How many new cars have you bought?
I bought a couple before I ever, decided that was probably not the right thing to do.
Okay, so you've been buying primarily used cars.
Yes, sir.
As you got a little bit older and started realizing what it cost you, then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you gone on vacation a lot?
A vacation a year, but never anything extravagant.
Okay.
And we've always just what we could afford, and driven.
You got kids?
Yes, sir. Got 3.
Okay. They in college?
No, sir. They're little. We got started a little later in life. My son's 15, and the girls are 11.
Okay. Perfect. Good. That's awesome. Tony, what's your wife's name?
Cecilia.
Cecilia. Tony and Cecilia. One of America's millionaires living there in Midland, Texas. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure, Dave.
Very nice. $1.2 million in his 401k. Averaged well less than $100,000. Saved 10% or less than his income. He's 47 years old. I'm going to do this all hour till you people get it. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Well, maybe. Chaos? Definitely. Tune in weekday mornings, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for Controlled Chaos with Gary Garver, Jigga, Dave, and Mary Tonga. KCAA 1050 a.m. You have to hear it to believe it.
I would absolutely recommend Churchill Mortgage to any of my friends, family, coworkers. They treated me like as if I was buying $1 million home, and that just made such a huge difference, knowing that I'm more around the 100,000 range than $1 million, but yet the treatment was just very respectful and very professional.
Call Churchill Mortgage today or visit us online to discover why we're the only mortgage company Dave Ramsey has ever endorsed.
This is KCAA.
Bob Vila here with my home improvement tip of the day. For decades now, if you wanted a smooth, resilient finish on a table you were painting, you turned to oil-based paints. They stuck to the finish better than water-based, they left fewer brush marks, and they created a rock-hard finish. But with the drawbacks to oil-based paint, long drying times, more difficult cleanup, along with health and environmental concerns, consumers have been increasingly choosing latex and acrylic paints instead. So, are they selling for a subpar finish? Not anymore. Paint producers have been fiddling with new additives that help water-based paints mimic the good qualities of their oil-based cousins, but without the health concerns. In fact, development of acrylic paints has progressed to the point where many products actually surpass the performance of oil-based. Bottom line, new water-based and acrylics combine the best of two worlds, and that makes them worth a serious look when you're planning your next painting project. Get more info at bobvila.com and right here at home with me, Bob Vila.
If you can't seem to stay ahead of your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. This program has been used by thousands to legally forgive millions in unsecured debt. It's not bankruptcy. It's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven from what you owe your creditors. Call for free information and get all your questions answered in the first free call. The more you owe, the more you can save. If you have at least $10,000 or more in credit card bills, this debt forgiveness program can be very effective. Call for free information and find out more now. 800-546-2909. There is no cost or obligation for the information. Don't wait. Call 800-546-2909. That's 800-546-2909. Get your debt problem solved. Call 800-546-2909 today.
Discover the wonders from the land down under at the Australian Outback San Diego Zoo's latest exhibit. Here you'll encounter wombats, wallabies, kookaburras, cockatoos, and koalas. You'll be at eye level with 7 different marsupials, and you may even encounter koala joeys on their moms' backs. San Diego Zoo's Australian Outback is also home to 25 colorful bird species. Watch these beautiful creatures in the land down under. The new Australian Outback at San Diego Zoo. For more information, go to sandiegozoo.org. Here's a look at the community calendar. I'm Di Rice. Inland Pacific Ballet will be performing at 4 different theaters across the Southland. There will be 10 opportunities to see Beauty and the Beast, so make sure you catch one of these breathtaking performances. Shows will begin April 25th and run through May 16th. Performances will be held in Claremont, Rancho Cucamonga, and Riverside. Find your show and pick your seats for Beauty and the Beast at ipballet.org. Group discounts are available, and that is a look at the KCAA community calendar. I'm Di Rice.
Thank you for joining us, America. The things we've been teaching you for years, I have witnessed them in the coaching office many, many times, that you can retire with dignity. You can save money, making a normal income, and retire a millionaire in America. And if you don't, it's no one's fault but yours. See, that's pretty harsh. But it is the reality. And reality, darling, is harsh. That's how it works. So we put out a call a couple days ago. I said, hey, if you have over $1 million, we want to hear your story. We want to hear the millionaire next door's story. And because some people, when Tom Stanley was killed in a car wreck by a drunk driver a few months back, a couple of idiots have come out and said the millionaire next door is dead, which is really kind of tacky considering Tom wrote the book and then he has passed away in a car accident. That's a horrible thing to say, but they did. Tom is a friend of mine. I resent that, by the way. But the millionaire next door, they were trying to say that in our economy today, because of the wealth divide, because it's unequal, it's not equal, it's not fair, I can't win, it's structural problems with the economy, the government's going to have to swoop in and make it an even playing field because I'm too freaking lazy to do it myself. And all this whining about 1%ers and crap that's out there. And so I just said, hey, if you're one of those millionaires that, you've actually done it, I want to talk to you. So that's what we're doing this hour. Keith is with us in Chicago. Hi, Keith. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm fine. It's an honor to speak with you today.
You too, sir. So how much of a nest egg have you been able to acquire?
Just under $2.1 million.
Awesome. Congratulations. How old are you?
57.
57. And what was that invested in? What's it in?
Well, about half of it is just in a joint accounts. My wife and I just investment accounts, mutual funds, and bonds, money market, just, various things, individual stocks. And then the other half is in our IRAs and 401ks.
But it's mostly in mutual funds and that type of a thing.
Yes.
So nothing fancy.
No.
No big hidden secret or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, just...
How long did it take you to do this? How many years you been working?
33 years.
33
years. I started out making about a little over $15,000 a year. Last year I made $115,000.
$115,000 last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Myself, my wife, and my wife makes about $65,000 at her job.
Okay. All right. So you're at 170 and some 180 now. Okay.
Yeah.
But and out of that 33 years, what would you say your average income was?
Oh, probably 50 to 60, and that
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just been in the last 5 years that it's really taken off. And we, which it came at the right time because I always remember thinking, boy, what am I going to do with kids to get ready to go to college? Because our kids were all 2 years apart. I knew I was going to have kids in college for a long time, but then our salaries started coming up and things,
So you cash flowing college out of the salaries?
Well, cash flowed college.
Yeah.
I started each kid a mutual fund when they were small with Vanguard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And each one of them ended up with about a little over $20,000 in their account.
Mm-hmm.
They all worked, and they all applied and got scholarships.
Good.
So I got 3 kids that went through college.
What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a petroleum geologist. My wife is a nurse.
Okay. All right. How did you know to do this?
Well, I don't know because it didn't come. I didn't grow up around it.
So you didn't start out rich?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Nobody in our family has ever had any wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something I felt like I needed to start doing early on when we got married and started working. And
Do you remember the first time you ever saw compound interest and what it could be if you were to save? You remember seeing that?
Yeah, I do.
Did that do for you what it did for me? I got so excited.
Exactly, and that's what I'm seeing now is the effects of the compounding, because once you get to a certain point, then the money just starts kind of growing on its own.
Yeah, the money's growing faster than you're growing it.
Yeah.
It'll work harder. It'll work harder than you do because it never sleeps.
Right.
It doesn't get sick. It doesn't get pregnant. It just keeps going. Yeah.
Dave, I didn't know about you until about 3 years ago, and I was flipping through a radio station, and I heard you on the radio, and I got hooked. I started listening like every day, and so then I started reading your books, and I found out that a lot of things that we were doing was what we're teaching all along. One of the things, each one of my kids has turned 16. I did it a little bit differently than you did, but I bought them a car, but then I said, okay, you're 16, you've got 2 years till you get out of high school to work and pay me back for half of that car. And then when you graduate, then the car's yours.
Yeah, so you're teaching the kids to work. That's good.
Yes. All 3 of the kids worked from the time they were 16.
How many new cars, in 33 years, how many new cars have y'all bought?
New cars, maybe 2 or 3, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we'll buy a good, maybe a 2-year-old car or something like that. When we trade. And the last new car we bought was a 2000 Tahoe, and we put 160,000 miles on it before we traded it. We drove it for 10 years.
Okay, so I got a young guy getting started out here listening to us right now somewhere out of these 10 million listeners, and he's 25 years old, and he just married a girl that's a nurse. What do you tell him? What do you tell? What's the moral of your story for him?
Well, just start young and put as much as you can away in your retirement plans, and if you got anything left, in just an investment account, and start young because you'll see the benefits of it when you get to be my age, and the compound thing starts working for you.
Yeah, $2.1 million ain't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How does it feel to be, do you feel like a millionaire?
I try not to think about it. I don't like to dwell on that. We don't live like it, you know. And
you all do a lot. You all do a lot of giving.
Yes, we do. I probably gave away almost $50,000 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Between church and a couple other things that I do. I gave away about $50,000 last year.
Yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Well, congratulations, sir. It's an honor to speak with you. You are a perfect illustration of what we talk about around here. Thank you for letting us take your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the Millionaire Next Door. We're going to do this all hour until you people get it. I'm telling you, $2.1 million, averaged $50,000 to $60,000 through 33 years of marriage. He's 57. The stuff I talk about all the time, you guys, live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else and give like no one else. How many of you gave $50,000 last year? Shut up. Shut up. And see, this is why I get so passionate and even angry at these voices in the financial community who say it can't be done. You can't average, you can't average that kind of percentages you talk about. You're misleading people. People are going to retire broke listening to you. You know what? You're an idiot if you say that. Dave Ramsey's advice is, clickbait. These clickbait bloggers trying to get me to lift their blog with my social media platform. It ain't happening, by the way. But I really get aggravated about it. I don't mind the personal criticism. It doesn't bother me. But when you're attacking the ideas, what you're saying to people is don't try because you can't win. And I'm proving all this hour you can win. These people are everywhere. I've met thousands of them in 25 years of doing this. Thousands of them. In America today, there's about 11 million of these millionaires. And 88% of them, 9 out of 10, 9 million of them are first-generation rich. They started with nothing and did like these men and women I'm talking to did. This is real.
It's the show that's saving the world one naughty joke at a time. Langdon Nation, every Friday night at 7 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM.
The surgical destruction of credit cards, typically as a means of financial freedom.
Every single year I chop up the card, but this year I thought it would be great to do something completely different. To A, do a demonstration, and B, close the account completely so they can stop wasting their postage. And the demonstration is, you see guys, if you make your credit cards disappear, chop them up, the interest rate disappears. It vanishes completely. And you can actually get a lot more with your cold hard cash than if you were to use credit card. Thanks, Dave.
If you're ready to cut the card and you have a creative way to show your plastectomy, get it on video. A few things before you get started. First, keep your video around 2 minutes in length, and if you're using a smartphone or an iPad, film it horizontally like a movie, not up and down like this. Second, we want to know who you are and where you're from. Once you are finished filming your plastectomy, you can mail it to The Dave Ramsey Show, 1749 Mallory Lane, Brentwood, Tennessee, 37027, or you can upload your videos at daveramsey.com/cutthecards.
This is KCAA.
California headline news: 4 people dead in Gilroy, a 5th person critically injured after a car goes out of control off the road and into a ravine, apparently having been speeding.
There are tire friction marks to show that the vehicle was going through a curve in the road, left the curve in the road, and exited the roadway before overturning.
Lisa Brazil with CHP. The driver, the only survivor. Not clear if alcohol was involved. State Assembly Public Health Committee votes against that measure that would have put a 2-cent fee per ounce on all sugary drinks. Assemblymember Lorena Gonzalez saying it wouldn't have had much impact.
I went to my neighborhood market and saw what 25 cents on a sugar-sweetened drink would mean. It would mean that that drink would still be half the cost of bottled water.
The vote 6-4 against the measure the proponents claimed would have discouraged consumption of the type of drinks they say drive up obesity rates. Geico weather, rain moving into the northern portion of the state today, cooler temperatures, possibly more rain into the southern region tomorrow. Jeff Scott, California News.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 877-890-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fix at 2.99% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket. But you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 877-890-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. Equal Housing Lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. California Department of Business Oversight. Residential Mortgage Lender Law License 4131083. NMLS 128231.
That's 877-890-CASH.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
If you can't seem to stay ahead of your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. This program has been used by thousands to legally forgive millions in unsecured debt. It's not bankruptcy. It's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven from what you owe your creditors. Call for free information and get all your questions answered in the first free call. The more you owe, the more you can save. If you have at least $10,000 or more in credit card bills, this debt forgiveness program can be very effective. Call for free information and find out more now. 800-546-2909. There is no cost or obligation for the information. Don't wait. Call 800-546-2909. That's 800-546-2909. Get your debt problem solved. Call 800-546-2909 today.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, 5007 Canaan Road in Agora Hills. Or check out the savings and place your order online, VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
Hi, this is Bob with Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. Tune in every Thursday afternoon from 3 until 4 at KCAA Radio 1050, and we will be there to answer your real estate questions, the latest real estate news, and to talk to the leaders of the real estate industry. Our Real Estate Talk, you can find out how to stop your foreclosure, first-time homebuyer information, loan modifications, different kinds of loans you can buy with, short sale strategies, and real estate investing and more. So don't forget, tune in every Thursday afternoon at 3 for Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. You'll be glad you did.
If you invest $100 a month from age 25 to age 65 in a decent growth stock mutual fund, you'd have $1,176,000, $100 a month. My contention is that anyone in America can retire a millionaire. And what about those people on minimum wage? Those poor people. Oh, God. The ignorance is just unbelievable out there, you guys. It really is. The Department of Labor says that less than 0.001%, that's nobody, of Americans attempt to live and raise a family on minimum wage. Minimum wage is simply not a living wage. It's not what it's for. And most people don't make minimum wage, is what that says. Now, there's a few that do, but if you make minimum wage your entire life, You don't have money problems. You have career problems. You need to get some skills at some point in the process. Now, I've done things where I made less than minimum wage. But don't spend 40 years of your life making minimum wage and then complain that the system's broken. Your brain is broken. If you're going to work for minimum wage 40 hours a week for your entire life, your brain is broken. You never improved your brain. You never improved your skill set. You never increased your income. You don't have to make $400,000 a year to retire a millionaire. And we're proving it by talking to real millionaires this hour. Ron is with us in Kansas City. Hey, Ron, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for taking my call, Dave.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being part of this. So, how much nest egg have you built up, sir?
About $1.6 million.
Good for you. Excellent. How old are you?
58.
Okay, cool. And what's it invested in?
It's a combination of mutual funds, and I do have some individual stocks.
Okay. All right. What do you attribute the fact that you have almost $2 million? What caused that?
Basically, saving money and staying as much out of debt as we could.
So that you could save money. Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. But I mean, did you invest? Did you have did you make $1 million on one transaction, or was this a steady drip?
It's a steady drip. Absolutely. We never had any big years or any big, windfalls.
Okay. And what do you make now? What's your household income today?
Today it's a little over six figures, and I do have some overrides that we could possibly double that.
So over $100,000 a day.
Correct.
Okay. And what would you say you've averaged over your working life? So you've worked 35 years?
Right. I would say until the last 5 years, we were always in the 15% tax bracket.
Which means you made what kind of income?
Our taxable income on our 1040 was usually less than $90,000.
Okay. So your entire working life, 35 years, basically, is what we're going to call it. You've made less than $90,000 until this year, last couple of years anyway. And
right.
so
About 3 years ago, I finally broke through $100,000.
Okay. And you're in the top, not income-wise, but in the net worth-wise, you're in the top 1% of Americans. You ever thought about that?
I do. I thought about it a lot.
Those guys that protested on Wall Street were protesting against you.
I know.
How's that feel?
Well, I think, young families that make good money, and there are a lot of young families out there that husband and wife work, they should all attain this. If there's really no reason why they shouldn't.
Okay. So, did you start out wealthy, or was your family wealthy, or have you inherited a bunch of money?
No inheritance, and actually started out pretty meager salaries when my wife and I were first married.
Okay.
And we made a decision when we had children that my wife would only work part-time, and so her contribution to the pool was about a third of what I was making the entire time. So.
Sure. And how many kids have you got?
2 children.
Okay. How old are they?
30 and 28. We cash flowed college because we chose to put money into retirement, knowing that when we would need money for college, that we would just turn retirement off and then cash flow it.
Okay. And that's what you did?
That's what we did.
Okay. But other than that, you've invested every year?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, every year. I don't think we didn't invest very much when the kids were in college, right?
Yeah. Okay. Other than the college years, yeah. All right. Cool. And how many new cars have you bought?
I was thinking about that with your previous callers, and that's the reason why I'm only 1.6, and your previous one was 2.1. I bought too many new cars.
In fairness, his income was a little bit above yours. Not much, but a tiny bit. That might explain it, too. So we found Ron's weakness. Okay. Same question I asked my previous caller, though. You've got a guy sitting. What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a software guy. But I have an accounting degree, so I'm a CPA, and I've just used that to parlay into a degree or into an occupation that's finance related.
Okay, you're talking to the 25-year-old you that's listening out there right now, out of these 10 million listeners, and he's getting married, and he doesn't know if in today's world he can do what you've done. Tell him the truth.
It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible, and you do have to stay focused, and you have to turn the TV off and stay focused in your occupation, and you have to, if you're in the wrong occupation, then you have to change and keep after it. Stay out of debt and save money every week.
How did you pay for college? Your college?
Work part-time. I usually had 2 or 3 part-time jobs. I know the summers between semesters, I was usually working 3 jobs.
Where did you graduate from?
Millikan University. It's a private college in Decatur, Illinois.
Okay. All right. With a degree in what?
In health sciences.
Okay. All right. And
but after we were married, I went back and got an accounting degree, but in the 10 years in marriage. So,
how much student loan did you have?
Unfortunately, I had about $2,500, and I think my wife had about $1,700.
Okay. And the rest of it, I had $3,200. Yeah, and the rest of it, you worked out and worked your way through. Yeah,
that's correct.
Okay, and that was at a private school in those days. Yeah. Wow, very cool. Very, very inspiring, sir. Thank you. Any other words for people that are listening? I mean, because a lot of people never get to talk to someone who's got $1.6 million.
Well, again, it's saving a little bit of money and staying out of debt so that you have money to save.
Okay. I didn't ask you. Talk about generosity. What part has that played in your all's life?
Well, actually, my wife and I both came from large families, and we started our marriage out and decided that we were going to tithe. So we've our entire married life, we've been tithing at least 10%, and we give over and above, and we do. I do coordinate financial peace every other year at our local church, and I provide kits for families that don't have the opportunity to buy them. So,
wow.
Yeah, we're givers.
Yeah, well, it's always part of the equation. I find it over and over and over again. Absolutely fabulous. Thank you, sir, for honoring us with your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. Very cool stuff. $1.6 million, 58 years old, 35 years he's been working making under $90,000 a year. I'm going to do this again. This is one of the better hours we've had in a while. These people they're just real people. All they did was do the stuff that I teach here every day, and they were doing it long before I was teaching it, by the way. I don't get any credit because I haven't been doing it for 33 years yet. So that's how that works. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Let me tell you why I endorse Liberty Safes. No other safe out there can protect your valuables, important documents, and guns like a Liberty Safe can. I keep my personal gun collection in my Liberty Safe, and I love knowing that no one can get to these guns but me. These safes are amazing. While you're searching Liberty's site, you'll find all kinds of sizes, colors, but most important, they protect what you value most. From high fire ratings to tough safes that even dynamite can't open. That's the great thing about Liberty Safes. They're beautiful, yet secure, which means it doesn't matter where you are on your journey to financial peace, there's a Liberty Safe that's priced right just for you. So, get yourself a Liberty Safe today.
This is KCAA.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN4LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
Hi, this is Bob with Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. Tune in every Thursday afternoon from 3 until 4 at KCAA Radio 1050, and we will be there to answer your real estate questions, the latest real estate news, and to talk to the leaders of the real estate industry. Our Real Estate Talk, you can find out how to stop your foreclosure, first-time homebuyer information, loan modifications, different kinds of loans you can buy with, short sale strategies, and real estate investing and more. So don't forget, tune in every Thursday afternoon at 3 for Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. You'll be glad you did.
If you're like most, your trust in traditional financial advice has taken a big hit in the last few years. So when it comes to your money, investment, and retirement planning, where do you turn now? Who do you listen to? Join us for Smart Money Talk Radio, Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m. for the refreshing, straightforward money and investment strategies of Jim and Lorraine Conaway. With over 44 years of combined experience, the Conaways are here to educate you on how to be smart with your money. Securities offered through J.P. Turner & Company, LLC. Member SIPC.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
Retirement Plan Nerd Association did detailed research trying to figure out what causes people to succeed in building wealth to retire with dignity, to succeed in becoming a millionaire for retirement. You know what they found? Expenses in the investments didn't keep people from retiring with dignity. The rate of return in investments, which I thought was going to be a big one, didn't cause people to retire with dignity. You know what the number one indicator? As a matter of fact, they found that the primary driver, 74% of retirement success is caused by savings rate. The amount of money that you save and that you do it continuously. The fact that you do it causes you to win. It's not any harder than that. We're talking with millionaires this hour to show you that it can be done. Millionaires next door. And we happened to have had, as God would have it, I was going to say coincidence, in the lobby just joining us, hanging out, Dan is with us, who just stopped by to have a cookie today and get a picture made and so forth at the commercial break, and said, hey, he would jump on. Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Where do you live?
South of Washington, D.C., Southern Maryland.
Okay, cool. So you wanted to join the conversation because you've done this too?
Yeah, I happened to be walking in, heard the topic. It's like, wow, I knew answers to some of the questions.
So how much is your nest egg?
My wife and I were a little over $2 million, or right at that amount.
Okay, excellent. And how old are you?
51. Just
51. Okay, so you've been working, what, 25 years?
About 27.
About 27 years. All right, cool. And your income now, household income?
It's a little over 200.
Okay. And what was your average through that 27 years, would you say?
I would say our average household was 90,000.
Okay. All right. So you didn't average over 100. And what do you do for a living? What do y'all do for a living, both of you?
I'm a systems engineer, and my wife's a financial analyst.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And so did you, what is the money in, is that your 401ks and mutual funds or what? What's it in?
It's 1.2 mil in all retirement pretty much, mostly mutual funds, a little bit of stocks. I would say it's conservative as well, relatively conservative, not full bore stocks. The rest is real estate. We have a home, rental property, and also we bought a condominium at the beach about 5 years ago, and started listening to you about 5 years ago, and a lot of that was leveraged or debt, and just recently paid off a couple of weeks ago. I would have tried to do the debt-free screen piece, but my wife said, you're not doing that without me, and unfortunately she couldn't be here today.
Okay, well, we'll schedule that later for you. We'll get you back on. That's fun. So you're debt-free, of course. I haven't asked the other people that. I should have done that. But they all are. Okay, James said that we did check with them. All right. And so this is 401k money and rental real estate, basically, and your home. And so you have a good match at your companies over the years?
Not spectacularly, 3 to 5% in there.
Okay. Did you have any one big hit, or did you inherit money, or did you start with wealth?
No, I didn't start with wealth, but I grew up in Maryland, went to University of Maryland. My parents did pay. I lived at home, but my parents did pay for tuition then, which when I started in 1982, it was like about $700 a semester. And so I had no college debt or anything like that. So took advantage of being in state. I guess I've always thought financially, and the compound the interest piece caught my eye and all that kind of thing. So.
It does inspire you the first time you understand. I put Ben and Arthur in my first book, and I've tried to use that chart ever since when we're teaching about this, because it just shows you the power of saving money. And when you start talking about saving $100 a month, that turns into $1 million, and for that number of years, and really that's right where you are. You're obviously double that, but so you don't attribute this to any one big thing. I mean, you didn't strike it rich at the poker table or have one stock that went through the roof or something like that.
No.
There was no get rich quick in this. You didn't hit the lottery.
Not at all. It was all live below my means. Some of my family, I'm sure, thinks I've been cheap through the years, but the only new car I bought was right out of college. Got kind of signed up. It's like that's the thing you do. But we bought one other new one, but that was with cash. Everything else has been with cash. Never had a car loan or anything. It's kind of nice to go in there and not have to worry about that.
So no student loans, no car loans the whole time?
No.
Okay. So staying out of debt enabled you to do this. You guys take vacations?
Modest vacations. We're looking to take more now.
Well, you got a beach house. So
yeah, we go there a few times a year for sure.
Okay. Very cool. So you're listening. I'll say the same thing to you I said to the other guys. There's a 24-year-old version of you out there listening right now. What do you tell them? How did you become worth $2 million?
Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Live below your means. Always be forward-looking. Apply yourself at whatever your career goal is. And as I've gotten older, and I wish I had known younger, really work with your spouse and be a team. That helps a great deal.
Very cool. Dan, thanks for jumping on the mic. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Very cool. Wow. That is how it's done right there. And the other thing, you always hear live below your means. You always hear it steady. We didn't get any tech millionaires or anybody that took a company public on here. We didn't have anybody whose mama left them $2 million on here. This is how it works, folks. This is how it works. Ken is in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Hey, Ken, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. So how big is your nest egg?
1.7.
1.7. Excellent. How old are you?
69.
69. Good. And your income average through your working life?
I started at 8 and ended up at 90.
Started at 8,000 and went to 90,000.
Yep.
Cool. What did you do for a living? I assume you're retired now?
I'm retired now. I retired 3 years ago, and that was the day that I got my largest raise. So it was
okay. That's fun.
I was in ministry from 1972 until the day I retired.
So you're a pastor?
And no, I wasn't a pastor. I did administrative work. I did fundraising. I did accounting for an association of churches, and then for a national organization. And then ended up spending 3 years in the Congo as missionaries that were working for $16,000 a year.
Ah, cool. So what is the 1.7 invested in?
It's mostly mutual funds and some real estate.
How did you start with any money?
No. My dad was an hourly paid machinist and never thought about retirement. He made it through until he died, but my mom lived to 91 and outlived her money, and we actually had to support her the last few years.
How did you know to do this?
I didn't like the way they turned out with their plan, which was none. And so I just decided from the very beginning that I was going to save 13% a year regardless of what my salary was.
How'd you find 13%?
Well, I'm trained as an accountant, so I kind of figured out that would take me to at least $1 million if I did that. And, just kind of throwing the estimates out there, what I thought I was going to make in the future and what I would make on the investments.
So you knew how to do the basic calculations. You too had seen the compound interest tables and were inspired by them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay.
I've actually done that with my grandkids. They are now, 4 of them are working, and so I have told them as long as they work and as long as they're in college, they're just going into college, that I will put $1,000 in a Roth IRA. And so we did this whole thing. I asked them, what do you think you'll have if I do this for 4 years? And I got an estimate from anywhere between $20,000 and $50,000. And then I told them, no, it's going to be $250,000. They just about died.
I love it. Oh, kid, I wish we could talk for hours. This hour's wrapping up on me. You're incredible. That's very well done. So 1.7 million, 2.1 million, 1.6 million, and 2 million. That's who we talked to this hour. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. Don't let anybody tell you this isn't the greatest country the world has ever known. The generosity you can do if you put yourself in the position those men that called in did. Yeah, you can do anything you want to do for your family and for others. There's no excuses, folks. There's no excuses.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.